Well, I said that I'd come and visit my friend Dave, who had the misfortune to have the big fire and lots of bikes, nearly all his bikes got destroyed. That's my bike outside his place, and we're going to have a look and see what happened. You can see there's been a big fire here. So we'll have a look down this side first, and I'll talk to Dave, and we can hopefully go through what some of these bikes are or were. So that one there, we can just see the back of, is a 350 Panther, and beyond in the dark there, probably won't even be able to make this out on film, but there's a Norton Commando John Player Special in there in the dark.
And this is the undershed what's standing.
And this is all that's left. Yeah, it's still standing just, but part of this roof has collapsed and it's got very hot in there. As you can see, that lying on its side there, you might be able to just make out, it's got a rack on the back. That's an AJS Model 18, that, isn't it? The 500? 18S 500. 1952, and it's got so hot, the aluminium top ends of the jam pots have just melted away and let go. Wheels and what were tyres, just a load of wire now.
And that was another shed there.
This was another shed, yeah. Various bits and pieces. There's a melted engine from something down there.
Yeah, I can't remember. Oh yeah, it's a CG125.
CG125. What was this one? This was.
This is another little Chinese bike.
Yeah. Now things get a little bit more sorry for themselves here now. I don't even know what that one is that was next to that old little Honda 50.
Oh, that's the Aprilia.
Aprilia.
Yeah. And then there's a Honda 50, 1964 Honda 50 next
We'll
to
have a
it.
look at that now, yeah, the Honda. Some rather pumped up jerry cans there that must have got very hot. This one certainly did.
Yeah. That says
Oh, the Suzuki Van, yeah.
looking pretty good.
And what model Norton was this? Was it a...
This is a 1938 Norton 16H. Looks not too bad compared to everything else.
Yeah.
And the Panther, well, I've had for was longer than I've known Paul, I think.
Yeah.
Longer than I've known you. And it's
That-
on a sidecar, really.
Well, that Panther and the AJS we just looked at have both been down to my place. Dave's come down to my place on both of them, and a BSA A10 that we'll see shortly.
Yeah. But the Panther looks like it's got a chance.
The Panther engine still turns, doesn't it? We just found that out.
Yeah.
And
the
the Norton engine turns as well, so there may be some hope for them.
And this one I've just restored.
Yeah, and unfortunately now it looks like it needs restoring again. And up here we haven't got things burned. There's a plastic fuel can there with something in it that hasn't leaked, but things could have got worse if it did.
Yeah. And the BSA was that's the way of it, because they're just going to bring it down one day to work on it, which probably glad I didn't.
And that's an A10 in an aerial rolling chassis, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then this one, Yamaha Virago, obviously got very hot at the rear end. Didn't actually burn as such. Looks like it just got very, very hot.
It's been very lucky.
And then on this side, that was a Caravan.
Then there's a Honda Bentley.
Is that the CBR?
Oh, there's CBR there. And then Aprilia again.
Aprilia,
125
yeah.
race bike.
And was that a Honda Bentley next to it?
Yeah. It wasn't very good that, but it did have it running once and stuff.
That was a battery at one time.
Yeah.
Oh, the aerial, which you can just see, can't you, in here? There's a 1927 aerial. You can just probably see the tank and the handlebars and the seat.
Which was a runner, but it hadn't been run for some time, of course, but I know I could add that running within 3 hours.
Yeah, and I think I've seen that running years ago. Honda CB250 RS,
Yeah.
and next to it an Ayamachi, isn't it?
Yeah, Ayamachi.
Was that a 250 or a 350?
250.
250.
Which was Michelle's bike.
Got very hot, some of these. Little Chinese scrambly type thing, but that's small in the grand scheme of things.
And then we start seeing sheds,
These were sheds,
parts.
and even that big, and that is a big tree. That's burnt, probably dead.
And the sheets from another shed again, I think. Even I don't know where there was now.
Where'd you start with all this? And we saw the Velocet Venom Racer somewhere, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, there's a BSA where the suspect could have been.
Oh yeah, this is the BSA A10. This is one that Dave also used to visit my place on from time to time. Been at my place a few times. I've got pictures of this, looking a lot better than it does now, poor thing.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's, I pointed in there, that is velo, isn't it?
Yeah, and then I can see the forks.
Yeah, if you look in that gap there, that sort of triangular gap under the sheets, you might just be able to see some fork springs. That's the front end of the Velocet 500 Racer.
Known as a Roadrunner and Aberdare Park and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Isle of Man.
you did a lot of racing on that.
And the Ducati 250, we haven't seen that yet. I'm scared to look at it because my baby.
Yeah, that's in there somewhere, isn't it?
It's been raced for years with me.
And that was a Honda Fireblade, wasn't it?
Most people need to sit down and see that one. It was immaculate.
This was a complete running Honda Fireblade.
If you can't see what they're looking at, it is there. And the frame.
Certainly see the melted engine.
Yeah, you can't see a frame anymore.
No, there's the
All
chain,
forks.
rear sprocket. No sign of a wheel that it would have been attached to. That's all gone.
This one might upset somebody. Over there, in that area, a frame, is a overhead camshaft Velocet.
Oh yes, Cami Velo. You might just make out frame there in the centre of the picture.
The exhaust and the silencer there from it.
There's
People will know
exhaust system for it. And then behind that was a Bantam Racer, wasn't it?
Yeah, a well-known one, Molben type Bantam Racer, like where they're racing with the Bantam Owners Club.
Yeah.
The Velocet, obviously, I was restoring that. The frame was shiny black and everything powder coated, and the exhaust and silencer looked as good as new.
I know that was a long running project, wasn't it? Went on for years. Yeah.
The forks maybe have a chance.
Yeah.
It's right at the back of the frame.
Yeah, yeah. Just burnt,
And here's the rest of my
melted,
ladder.
broken stuff.
There's the rest of my ladder. And that is my press for pressing flywheels out.
Yeah. And your, was it MIG or TIG welding set down there?
Oh, that's gone. And there's a bottle. And I had a settling bottle over the back that I was all concerned about that night when I got back.
So how many sheds were there, Dave?
Woodland across there, what they put in there's 1,200 quid's worth of shed, that one. This was one I built up years ago.
Yeah.
I can't remember how long now, a long time ago. It's a big shed joining towards that tree as well. And then there's another shed, a long one going that way. what used to do the quiet type of stuff in there. Is nice cosy type of shed. Then another one again. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, I can't even think straight at the moment, but you know, or where there was, it's something else.
And you've been here, what, 50 years?
Nearly.
Nearly?
I'd say 45 at least.
Yeah, yeah,
And that was the shed there, where you are there, where the AJF was in.
yeah.
And then the gazebo, funny enough, the polytunnel, funny enough, everything that was in there has not been attacked so much because maybe the corrugated sheets on all the heating, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they've shielded some of the heat off this area. Although obviously things have been burning here.
Yeah. Just like from heat, maybe. Can't see what flames really got across, apart from this veranda and what we've been on a stand there.
Yeah,
You know.
that even everything's gone from the rear wheel there.
Yeah.
Still got the chain and sprocket on, and the hub has just melted into a horrible funny
What's this
shape.
stuff? And that's where the spokes was, the hub, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And there was even so much heat that the door, the plastic door, and the gutters on the house got hot and melted and blistered. The guttering went, yeah. So it could have actually been a hell of a lot worse, but this is terrible anyway.
When the fire was going, I could just about get in the house before getting burnt.
Yeah, well, you've only got to look at things like this wood to see. Hmm? Oh, that's the engine from the Aprilia 125 there.
Yeah. You and Ian was going to have that, but it didn't fit the frame, was
That's right, yeah, yeah. But hopefully things can be cleared up a little bit and things pulled out of the wreckage, and Dave can see what he might be able to salvage from it. And I'm quite happy to help him. But today we're just looking at the stuff in disbelief, really. And there's a lot of work to do and a lot of stuff.
There's the compressor, it looks as good as new really there.
Yeah.
What I bought not long back, I was proud because it got it at a good price.
Another compressor there, and the whole sort of
That's
pumping part of it is totally melted.
Yeah, that used to have a petrol engine on it turning that years ago. That didn't matter.
Mm. But, just, well, there's no words, really. And it's amazing just how hot this stuff has actually obviously got. You've got, look at this. What's left of the rear wheel of that Aprilia 125. And the aluminium section is totally gone. The rear end is totally disconnected from it now, pretty much.
That's why the 5 looks like it does, because it didn't have a metal frame on the back. You know?
That's it, the aluminium just gets so hot. And this one was a CBR 600, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, you seem to want that anyway, just doing a load of work and, you know.
Look at the heat that thing has suffered.
Yeah, look at, where's the wheel on?
Yeah, just melted, just gone into melted pools and blobs of aluminium.
The only thing what's saved on that is an exhaust which is about 20 foot away from it.
Yeah.
Over there, isn't it? Yeah.
So it's been pretty hot all the way from where we're standing now.
And that, my spare tyre from the van.
All the way down there. It's unbelievable. That tree, massive. I bet you that is probably perhaps about 70 or 80 years old, that.
Probably more.
Yeah,
Probably more.
yeah. Unfortunately, that's probably dead because the bark has been destroyed on it. I don't think there's an immediate worry that it's going to fall over and cause any carnage, but
Well, you're the expert on really.
I'd be surprised to see any green on it ever again. Quite a few...
all the wildlife, all gone.
Yeah, you had birds and stuff, didn't you, living in this lot?
Swallows.
all gone. Anyway, I suppose that just about sort of covers it briefly, but obviously there's going to be all sorts of stuff to dig out and assess and
Extracts and special tools.
yeah.
Some tools that are probably 100 years old, with the best that people can get. Crankshaft truing,
Oh yes, I remember that. Yeah.
Lots
The
of
truing
things
jig.
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
All little workshop things.
yeah. And the Ducati now, I'm scared to look for the Ducati. All the parts for it was in some boxes around there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just under that part. I can't face it. Because that was my baby.
Yeah. This is really terrible and sad to look at. And I had a personal sort of affection for this A10 as well, because I think it was more or less found in a hedge, wasn't it? And you got it sorted out.
Well, kind of, like some people call it barn find, but
Yeah.
it's all intact and everything was good. And
Yeah, it all worked well, didn't it?
I got everything right and I put a few different parts on it to keep it going. And it's reliable, isn't it?
And this is not the only one I noticed on the Norton. The
Right.
chronometric clock on
Yeah.
the Norton is black.
And
And the, well, yeah, the,
your 350, your old 350 tank that you working on, isn't it?
oh, well, it was, I worked on it for a guy called Frank who sold it to you, didn't I? The 350 Panther.
I think I a bit at one stage, because that's how I mentioned I'd be interested if it come for sale, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'd seen it there.
It was a good little bike, that. In
Yeah.
fact, I got video footage of that on YouTube with me riding it,
Yeah.
and I wrote about it for Real Classic magazine as well.
Here, here's your old frame, look.
Oh,
It survived.
that old rigid frame from I don't know what, but that's one that Dave had off me not too long ago.
I was
That's
thinking of, I had an MOV engine. I sold it in the end, but I was thinking of grafting it into that and doing something.
at least whatever it is, it seems to have survived,
Yeah.
which is
Well,
something.
everything around here. Look at the tyres. You still got the tyres.
Yeah.
The tyres you gave to me was further down there. I can't see where they was.
All this corner is saved for some reason. I think maybe it was because you had this covered in polythene. Perhaps that went so quickly that once that burned away,
Maybe it didn't trap the fire in there,
yeah,
or wind or something, whatever, I don't know.
perhaps went quick enough that things didn't get hot enough to spread it further this way. But I'm no fire detective, I'm just sort of saying what I think.
And this bike is not far away from there, and it didn't look disturbed really, does it?
That doesn't look like it's been touched really.
yeah,
Oh, there's a little bit of scorching, isn't there, on the paint on the tank and the seat.
And the timing cover.
Yeah. But
But I think that would still run.
having said that, look at that blue bucket there, how that melted. It obviously was very hot in this area,
Yeah.
so perhaps this one was lucky to survive.
Everything against the wall apart from that thing. See a bit of melt in there. And the cans.
Yeah. Gas bottles there, they had a lucky escape.
Yeah.
Some of the gas bottles obviously didn't because they were in that lot. And you had 5 fire engines, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I had to move some gas bottles myself and nearly burnt myself doing it.
Yeah, and
Otherwise it could have been close to the house. That.
probably just as well
But
you
the
managed
gas
to do
bottle over
that.
there, that one there, I didn't really care about that because it's quite a distance. And when I got back, I brought my van over there anyway.
Yeah,
There's a glass bottle there, look, a sweet jar, still intact.
yeah. Yeah, obviously wasn't anywhere near as hot in that area
No.
as over there.
I know it's untidy a bit, I have to apologise for that, but
You don't need to
It's a
apologise
one-man
for
van.
anything here.
no. Look at the headlight.
Yeah.
I saved that from a scrapyard as well, that RS250. I've got it as a historic vehicle and on the road just a runabout.
Well, I remember you getting about on that as well.
Just a bit, innit?
Mm.
I know it was a bit noisy, but it was alright.
And what are these? These are Honda 50, early Honda 50 parts on
On
a
the monkey bike.
overhead valve.
About 2 years ago I went up to somewhere in Manchester to buy a job lot off this bloke who was selling up everything. 150 quid was a bargain. The crankcases, you can't see them, they're gone.
Those silencers might just be alright.
Yeah, they never looked shiny, but you know, they'd have done the job.
Anyway, I think that probably gives a
Yeah.
general picture, doesn't it, of just...
Yeah. Except for they haven't seen the 27AO, but you can see the tank there.
I did actually climb over here and show that and say what it was, but yeah, you can't see a lot of it. But there's the tank and the handlebars, and you can see a bit of the forks as well there.
It's nearly 100 years old.
Yeah, 1927. And didn't it have TT history?
Yeah, it was supposed to be well known as a Model C for climbing Snowdon up the railway track or something.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully that might be salvageable. Carnage. So this is the aftermath of the fire that I talked about the other day when I sat in my workshop telling the story, and the interest and support from people for that was amazing. But this guy really needs some help here. This is just heartbreaking to look at, and I can only imagine what Dave is feeling like. Well, I can't imagine really. I don't want to know what Dave is feeling like, but it's just so sad.
This shed here, on there, when I first moved here, it had a writing, a pencil writing, I think, built in 1963. I never find the writing now, but it was written on there. Someone had done that.
Well, I remember this as your sort of main shed
Yeah,
when I
it's the only
started
one,
coming
isn't
to
it?
visit. Yeah,
The only one. Yeah.
and the others sort of sprang up afterwards.
The vice there, look, and stuff. And then just below that, the compressor. Looks like it might have a chance.
There's a fuel tank off something there, I can see.
Oh, that's that as well.
Wow.
It was.
Yeah.
To do with a Ducati
Ah.
250. I'm not sure.
Obviously got very hot in here.
Just about everywhere in the end. Might as well, before we cut off, show them the fire extinguishers.
Yeah,
Can't reach them, it's too hot.
fire extinguishers, and I think, didn't we see there was one somewhere that had a bulge in it, wasn't there?
Oh, down there.
Oh,
yeah,
down
yeah.
it, yeah.
Not too sure about that one. Well, I couldn't get to that, it was so hot. I'd have finished myself off.
Yeah, yeah. I think you had a very lucky escape.
Yeah.
There's some of the gutter off the house. Look at that, all bent and twisted and melted. And the door, well, here's the rest of the gutter. What's left of the standpipe, the downpipe,
Oh, yeah.
and the door of the house, the back door.
All walking. And just about shut that now as well.
That shows how hot things got on the yard there, and how lucky they were. If this had gone up, probably it would have spread to the rest of the house. And there's the roof of his first shed, all caved in, and like I say, there's bikes in there.
And I had a double layer of sheets on that as well, keeping it
Yeah.
intact. I could even walk on there.
Could have a look down there, just long range at the yard. So that's what Dave has got to greet him when he comes out the back door of the house. Very different to what it used to be. Anyway, I think we've probably covered it all, and well, hopefully at some point soon perhaps things can be pulled out and assessed, but a lot of it is probably beyond salvation, unfortunately. There's that tree from another angle, and the BSA A10. So there we go. Oh, here's a flywheel from something. Ooh, it's actually welded
There, look.
down. Yeah. That one must have been perhaps in an engine, or it's welded down. There's stuff melted and stuck to it.
But then now, I think because they're temporised, no use to anybody at all.
Yeah, the heat's
And
got
I
to them.
couldn't let that go to somebody, even if they wanted to clean them up. I think they get temporised and they were weak,
Yeah.
you know. So there's not much for sale. this up. I didn't even know that was there. Obviously that was blue.
Yeah. Obviously got very hot.
I think that's about it, isn't it?
I think so. I think that's pretty much covered it. So there we are. That's what Dave's got to face. And I'm going to try and help him as and when I can. There's a lot of clearing up to do.